Okay, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Good to have you with us here in 2019. I had my mark that down. It only took yesterday. I was passionate about several subjects yesterday that we discussed, but what do they say every time Trump, they say he has a temper tantrum, right? They say Trump threw one of his temper tantrums. Well, I had my first outburst. We'll call it outburst, okay? We won't call it a meltdown. I didn't have a meltdown. I mean, obviously I'm in the room alone. I don't know if anybody would have been in the room with me would have had fear that I was having a meltdown, but whatever it may take, you piece of garbage, Chuck Schumer. But, well, relax. Serenity now, serenity now. Now Seinfeld's in trouble, right? They went through, did you hear this? I read this story. I read every damn thing. I don't know why the hell I do that. But Seinfeld, right? There's this story out. So I read this story that there's 13 shows that Seinfeld did, Jerry Seinfeld, that they did that millennials find inappropriate. Anyhow, so we'll mark that down as 1/3/2019, my first passionate monologue of the year. Won't be my last, folks. There's things that hit me, and I apologize. I really do to you, the audience. There's things, and every time I heard him say, I asked, give me one good reason. I mean, I was thanking God that I wasn't in Washington, D.C. to give him firsthand one good reason. I mean, every time I asked the president directly. I asked him directly, give me one good reason. Give me one good reason. You don't want to hear what I really want to say. Anyhow, how serious is Mitt Romney's op-ed? It's all set up, folks. The deep state media, I've been watching them for days. I wanted to see what they came out of the box, okay? Why didn't Romney write the op-ed, okay, and send it to the Post, all right? I try to tell you on the show, we study the media here, and they are complicit. They are, they're in cahoots, okay? And it's collusion. It's the only collusion out there, not Trump and the Russians. It's the only collusion out there. Is the deep state media is in lockstep with the deep state. They're apart when you start breaking it down, and they carry the water and the propaganda on a daily basis. And why didn't Romney release his Washington Post op-ed days in advance? Because you would have been busy over New Year's Eve wanting to know where you were going to enjoy yourself and not care about Mitt Romney and him acting like he's the adult in the Republican Party. Why? Because you would be going through Christmas and enjoying your Christmas holiday with family and friends and busy, with activities. Why? Okay? Why? Because America's gotten to, and let's say this, all right? Let's just say some things out loud, okay? America is changed. Has it changed? And, it's changed to where, the day of the 50s and the 60s, okay, and somewhat 70s, because that's the way I lived when I lived in the 70s, and we're not going to knock and trash people, okay, but in the 70s, let's just say 1970 period, you had mom and dad, so you had Christmas together, okay, you had Christmas together, and you didn't have dad, and you didn't have mom and mom, maybe out there somewhere, but you had mom and dad, you had Christmas together. Then you got up on Christmas Day and you went over the river and through the woods, because that's what the song said, and you went to Grandma A and then Grandma B, or vice versa, and it was a whole thing of who was the first grandma you go to. It was a real fight, like, we went to your mother's last year first, we're going to my mother's first. No, we're not. Whatever. The brisket will be ready at 2. Whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Right? So it was real simple back then. So now we need 2 damn weeks in America to have Christmas, because you got to go to mom's, and then you got to get the dad's, and then you got to get to your, second mom somewhere, okay? And maybe dad lives here and mom lives here, and now you got 8 grandparents you got to go visit. I'm just saying, right? So that's what we do. So that's why Romney didn't drop the op-ed That's why he didn't drop that a week ago. It was timed. Okay, remember this, okay? And I told you this, all right? I'm not putting a lot into this. I just know what they're setting up. Okay? You're saying that's not real news. No SH. Okay? It's not real news. It's fake. They're carrying this water. So I told you to read, all right? And I'll give it to you here if you didn't. It's on the Hill. It's written. It's on the Hill. It's prediction. Trump goes unexpected. Candidate emerge in 2019. Trump goes. It's predictions for 2019. And it's written, just if you'll type in, if you go to the Hill website and put in predictions, this came out on 1/1, okay, at 9 a.m. I told you this, we'll build up to where we're going. On 1/1 at 9 a.m., this prediction list came out on the Hill website, all right? And these kind of predictions are going around everywhere. Every site out there, some kind of parallel to these predictions are going on, okay? But this is part of the setup that Trump won't make it. But here's the prediction list. This came out on 1/1. It's not a coincidence, all right? This prediction list, and several of the prediction lists came out 1/1 at 9 a.m. in the morning. So New Year's Day at 9 a.m. in the morning, this stuff starts making the airwaves, okay, to set up Romney's op-ed. So at 8 o'clock at night, Romney's op-ed, boom, goes up. Washington Post. I get an email at 8:01 telling me it's out there. So I read it New Year's. So we came in here yesterday morning, and the news picked it up at 4 a.m. And you would think between, Jake Tapper, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the whole list, okay? Oh, a reshuffling of the Republican Party. And then Romney McDaniels, whatever her name is, okay, the niece that's head of the RNC, comes out and gives a big, hey, you should not have done that, you freshman senator, and doesn't even acknowledge her uncle, but, harsh on him. It's all set up, folks. Please stay with me. Watch what happens here. Now, I would love to be wrong, but I think Romney is the mantle they're setting in place, and they did it on purpose. So that being said, we're going to talk about Mitt in just a minute, all right? I want to go to this right now. This morning, so many of you, the last all-star political panel for the year, give me number 3, okay? This is the power. This is the power here you're looking at. Shutdown, showdown, okay? And what is happening in 2019, and just to open your eyes, is this is going to be the power right here. Who will win this? Now, Chuck Schumer comes out and acts as though, and the media leads you to believe, okay? Now, Bird Box hit a home run for one reason. It gave us the walking through life with a blindfold, meme. We can look at that. Walking through life with a blindfold, all right? Now, the average American people, I will predict, do not know Chuck Schumer's not the majority leader in the Senate. What happened yesterday? I told you as soon as this was over and you came into 2019, the media would treat the Democrats as they were in charge of everything, okay? It's very hard, not just because he's short, okay? It's very hard to find Steve Scalise and McCarthy in any videos right now. Well, he was on Fox. No big deal. Oh, he was on Hannity. He was on Laura Ingraham. Yeah, okay. Really? Watch Steve Scalise, okay? Steve Scalise and Kevin McCarthy. Now, in the last 2 years, you would have believed that Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, you would have believed that the Democrats were in charge as much as they had them on TV. They're not going to give the Republicans the same thing. You're not going to see Steve Scalise every time you turn around and McCarthy every time you turn around. Watch. In yesterday's news clips, everything, why is Mitch McConnell on the sideline? Why? okay? Now, let me say this. This is the power in Washington, D.C. You better get used to it. A lot of you did not like on the last All-Star panel of the year that I made Nancy Pelosi the winner of the year, which angered a lot of people. It wasn't because I like Nancy Pelosi, but here's what I want to say. Her daughter came out and said yesterday, Nancy Pelosi will cut your head off and you won't even realize you're bleeding. All right, something like that. I mean, she will. All right. I don't know. It's obviously happened in the history of our country, but what I would like you to do is go do some research and find out the last time somebody took the power of House of Representatives as Speaker of the House, lost the power. A lot of times when they lose the power, folks, they can't take being the minority leader. I tell you, majority leader's a big perk. Oh, it's a big perk. I mean, you get the big office in the corner, get the extra staff. I mean, big, big perk. Last time Nancy Pelosi, if I remember right, you do the research. If I'm off one little bit, like the president, there'll be the attacks out there. But one little bit, I think the last time she was Speaker of the House, the plane that was dedicated to her, she required a bigger jet because she did not want to stop and fuel up going to San Francisco. Okay, the other jet I thought had to stop and fuel. I don't know. I could be wrong. Look that up. But that was a big argument that Pelosi wanted an upgrade in her jet that she gets. Oh, yeah, she gets a free jet. The whole works, okay? Anyhow, look at the last time. And a lot of times they will not step down the minority. This lady stepped down the minority from Speaker of the House, stepped down the minority. She knew the power play she was making, okay? She knew. The one thing that's been said on this show many times from guests and others out there and myself is the Democrats are very good at a long game, okay? Very good at a long game. She knew that she was putting things in place, and she's back. Today, that's the Speaker of the House. Today, she goes in as Speaker of the House, all right? So just look it up in history. The last time a Speaker of the House went to minority and then came back as Speaker of the House. There she is. Go to number 4. A new era begins today, okay? We will have 2 women that are Muslim, okay? First 2 Muslim women, they will have their heads covered. It's against the rules of the House to have covering. I mean, I know what you're saying out there, okay? I don't care. 2019, I don't care what you're saying. I do not care. But the next thing you know, you're going to have somebody walk in a baseball cap. Ah, hell, I overslept. I threw on my hat. Boom. Just saying. Just saying. Rule, don't cover the head in the House. That's a rule. There you go. There's Donna Shalala. Wasn't she years ago a special kind of friend to Hillary? I mean, I'm just saying. Donna Shalala was in Bill Clinton's cabinet. Now she's back as a new representative in the House of Representatives. She's a new member. I'm just saying, I thought her and Hillary had a connection. I mean, Chuck Woolery kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just say it, don't know. And here we go. And let's do this. Give me number 8. There she is, number 8. Nancy takes control of the House today. There she is. She'll hold 235 seats. Here's the breakdown. And I want to stop right here in just a minute. Give me number 11. Here's the party breakdown. Just think of it at the top, the party. They've been partying with our money long enough. I think they should change it from not party. They just whatever, okay? The House will have 235 Democrats and Republicans, 199. The Senate has moved to 47 to 53, okay? So let's stick there for just a minute, okay? So the House is moving over. Today, the Senate. At the same time, Nancy Pelosi is getting the big gavel, all right? And the Democrats are and I wonder if there'll be the gavel handing ceremony today, and the useless, no good, former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, will hand over the gavel. But look at the Senate. You got 47-53. Now, the House is going to immediately, Nancy Pelosi said the House is going to immediately pass appropriations bills. Immediately today, opening the government back up. And then it'll be up to Mitch McConnell over in the Senate. Okay? What happened to the bill that was passed by the House already? Is it null and void? It was passed. Is it null and void? Could the 53 senators that are Republicans this afternoon, could Mitch McConnell call for the nuclear option as the head of the Senate and pass what the Republicans sent over last week or 2 weeks ago, with $5.7 billion for the wall? Can they do that? Nuclear option, Republicans rush in, hit it with the 53 straight votes, 53-47, and send a message today. This is how it works. You will deal with the Senate. Because right now, Chuck Schumer's running the Senate. Right now, Chuck Schumer's the majority leader. That's the impression, that's the way he's working, and that's the way he's talking. Mitch McConnell could say all day long, I understand Mitch makes these little crafty deals, but we need 60 in the Senate. So I just want to know, can Mitch actually flip the switch today, have 53 votes on the nuclear option, send it to the president, and by the end of the day, the president sign it with $5.7 billion for border security of a wall, okay, and say that's how it works. I did end the shutdown. So could Mitch McConnell do that, end the shutdown? I don't know. Maybe he can, but that's the makeup. When we come back, I want to venture into Apple, okay? Here's going to be a nice face there. Let's see, a diverse freshman class comes to Washington. Progressive Firebrands, number 12. Yeah, just think a little, yeah, right? The scary thing is she's walking around without the blindfold. Holy smokes. Yesterday, number 13. They're in the Situation Room. We, you and I out there and most of America feel we have a crisis at our southern border. Most of us feel that we are headed for a collapse, an internal collapse of this country if we don't get a hold on it. Kirstjen Nielsen, the Secretary, Homeland Security Secretary, was asked to give a report. That's the reason they were in the Situation Room, because we feel this is a serious situation on our southern border. She was asked to give a report. As soon as she started in the report, Nancy cut her off. I don't need to hear that, man. I don't need to hear that. You do understand who I am here in 24 hours? You better get it straight. My daughter told you earlier today, I will cut your head off. You won't realize you're bleeding. I'm your host, BKP. Let's talk about Apple and Mitt Romney when we return.